Survivor's Log 3. If you're seeing this message, you are insanely lucky. And let's be honest, you probably aren't going to last much longer. These things are insane. And trust me, if the pandemic of 19 was any indication of the human race, you aren't in the best of shapes. It's my job to run you through how I survived, and hope you have the capacity to follow along. These things are fast. You won't be able to outrun them on flat, solid ground. I learned that the hard way. Walkers adapt fairly quickly, meaning you won't be able to use the same trick forever. They are fairly smart for being undead. However, they don't have the power to climb, and their remaining flesh breaks down in the water. Contaminated water is the most common transfer you will come across. However, transfer is possible through blood and direct saliva contact. The walkers won't attack animals unless they're provoked. That means having dogs or guard animals around are good to have. Sully, my beagle, has saved me from one too many close calls. Speaking of, animals will only turn on blood contact, meaning you don't have to filter their water. The outbreak happened fast. The red zone is the initial zone, orange is second contact, and yellow is third. In 8 days, the infection spread throughout the country. This shows how the infection spread from the initial site to 250 miles to 500. The United States population is huge, and in less than 2 weeks, the infection had spread over 1,000 miles. This shows what the spread would look like just from the cities over 1 million in population. These two maps show the spread from our known sites in the first week. These are 1,000 miles out. The population in the states before the outbreak was 332 million. In 2 weeks, 75% was infected and 20% was dead. We know now that there is a very small amount of people that are completely immune. I've heard they're being tracked down for testing. It's been 6 months at this point, so I'm not sure how you guys aren't dead yet, but maybe you are. Who knows? I went for high ground, but underground is also a good option, as long as you have a good mechanism to close off the entrance to your compound. I was one of the smart ones, and I was able to get out of the city before all hell broke loose. I was able to make it to the Colorado Plateau before my car ran out of gas. From there, I ditched the car and started making my settlement on the edge of the plateau. Temporary will quickly become permanent, so you must act quickly. Avoid flat and large areas. Trust me, flat areas will make it easier for the walkers to run and move, and being in the middle of a large area will make it easier to be surrounded. Choose bottled water over food. You can survive much longer without food than you can without water. Solo groups are your best shot. It's easier on food, and one dose of contaminated water will destroy your compound. I've seen it happen. Grab bags are very important. Temp shelters, water, and food are your top priority. As soon as the disease was found, you should have made a grab bag, but that's fine. We'll work with it. Trust me, you can survive off of 1 or 2 pairs of clothes. Don't overfill your bag. Keep weapons small. Think pocket knives or switchblades, or even a small hand pistol. For temp shelters, think about a sleeping bag or a small tent. You don't want to be sleeping outside, but these are last-ditch solutions. Camping purifiers will be your best friend. They take about 30 to 60 minutes depending on the model, and they are perfect to let run while you sleep. They're fairly cheap, and most people won't think to grab one. Even in real life, a water purifier is a good thing to keep around, even if you never use it. I'm one of the lucky ones. I camped before the fall, so I had one handy. You might not be as lucky. Canned food can last you up to a month or longer, depending on how much you can get. After that, you'll end up relying on hunting. Hunting, depending on where you end up, can last you a few weeks or up to when you leave, which is unpredictable. I'll be leaving my settlement soon, as should you lot. If you were smart, you would have left in the summer, but it's December now. I moved in July, which is considerably the perfect time. Late summer gives you the chance to get somewhere safe and find somewhere to last you through the winter without worrying about the cold. Mountains or small plateaus will be the best option. These both are high up, giving you a chance to see everything around you without fear of being attacked from behind. Speaking of which, open areas are the best. Closed off or surrounded by trees will be the worst option. If you can hide, so can they. I was able to find an old radio tower. That's where I'm recording this log now. I had to build onto it to protect myself from the rain and such, but this poorly drawn diagram is a good example of what my current placement looks like. The main floor is completely encased. The windows and the main doors are removed and replaced with large and heavy pieces of wood. I have a thick piece of metal resting against the wall above my stairs in case anything does break into the first floor. I keep everything upstairs except for my ladder. I leave it down and hidden along the side of the radio tower and pull it up into the second floor when I return. There is a river not very far from the tower, but when you look for your settlement, you never ever want to be directly on the water. You won't believe the amount of people I've seen become walkers because of the contaminated water. We all knew the world would end eventually. Never thought it'd happen this soon, though. Some of the equipment still works in the tower. I've heard they'll come looking for me soon. They've captured 30 of my other immune siblings, and I will be next. The walkers are the least of my worries. Hopefully, you survivors might be able to help me. Help all of us. We don't have much time. Work quickly. Work effectively. I believe in you. I must go. Survivor 435, signing off.